Hi everyone, in this video we're going to learn how to crochet Solomon's knot, and this is also known as the love knot or the lover's knot. This is a beautiful open lace stitch and you actually have a lot of control over how open or closed your final fabric ends up, as we're going to see. For our swatch we are going to create this small little square, and as you can see from my swatch, it has straight edges at the top and bottom and along the sides. Now sometimes when you see the stitch pattern, it also has the Solomon's knot stitch along the edges, but I wanted mine to have straight edges, so that's why we start with the chain and 4 repeats along the bottom, and then end with chains and the same 4 repeats across the top. For your foundation chain, you need to chain any multiple of 4 plus 2. So each 4 chains will give you one of the diamond shapes that we saw in the original swatch. So for my little swatch, I'm just going to chain 18, so that's 4 by 4, which is 16 plus 2. For row 1, we're going to work our stitches into the back bump of each chain. Now you don't have to do this, but I do like to work into the foundation chain this way because it means that your start and finish rows are going to be almost identical. So our first single crochet is going to go into the back bump of the second chain. So skip the first chain and make a single crochet. And now we're going to start our first Solomon's knot. So you pull up a long loop about ½ inch and just chain 1. Now you can see here that we have the front and back loops of a chain as normal, and then we also have that back bump. So you're going to insert your hook into the back bump, pull up a loop and finish your single crochet as normal. And that's it, that's the first Solomon's knot done. So to achieve that diamond shape in the fabric, Solomon's knot stitches are worked as a pair. So we're going to repeat those steps, pull up a long loop and make a chain, insert into the back bump and finish with a single crochet. And now we have a pair of Solomon's knot stitches. Now we skip 3 chains in the foundation chain and just single crochet. And now you can see that we have a little half diamond or triangle shape starting to form. So we'll continue with another Solomon's knot pair, pull up another loop, chain 1, insert hook into the back bump and make a single crochet. And repeat that again. And again, skip 3 chains and single crochet. So for my Solomon's knot stitches, I pulled up my loop about ½ inch in height. And it's good to try and hold on to the bottom of that chain while you're making the single crochet, just to keep the knots the same height. So some of mine didn't come out quite exactly the same, but with practice you definitely get much better. And sometimes in a pattern you'll see an instruction to pull the loop up higher, so usually it's anywhere from ½ inch to 2 inches if you want a really loose lace fabric, but I kept mine at ½ inch. Now we're at the end of the foundation chain, so we skip 3 final chains and then do our single crochet in that very last chain. And that's the first row done. So if we lay it out flat, you can see that we have 4 repeats, so 4 pairs made, and our fabric is starting to take shape. Row 2 is going to start a little differently. To keep our edges straight, we need to add some height at the start and the end of the row. We start this row with a chain 4. And now turn and make 1 Solomon's knot. And now we're going to join in to the single crochet at the center of the previous pair. So work a single crochet into that stitch. Make another pair. So now you're going to skip that first single crochet and then single crochet into the stitch at the center of the next Solomon's knot pair. And now you can see that our diamond shape is starting to form. For the rest of this row, we're going to work 2 more Solomon's knot pairs with a single crochet in between. There's 1 pair, skip a single crochet into the middle stitch and make another pair. Skip a single crochet and then single crochet into that center stitch of the pair. Now we're almost at the edge, but we don't have space for another pair, so we're just going to make 1 Solomon's knot and then end with a treble into the last single crochet. So 1 knot made, and now a treble crochet into that last single crochet. So that's row 2 done, and you can see that the diamond shapes and the straight edges are starting to come together. For row 3, it's going to be very similar to row 1. So chain 1 to start, turn, and then single crochet into that first stitch. So that's the top of the treble. Now make another pair of Solomon's knots. Skip that first single crochet and then make a single crochet into the stitch at the center of the next Solomon's knot pair. So you'll just continue on along the row in the same way. Make a Solomon's knot pair, skip a single crochet and then single crochet into the center of the next pair. At the end of this row, we're going to end with 1 more pair, so that's 2 Solomon's knots. And if we just lay it out, we can see that we need to bring this last pair down to meet the top of the chain 4. So we finish the row with a single crochet into that top chain of the turning chain 4. And now it really is starting to come together. So row 4 is exactly the same as row 2. You start off with a chain 4, work one Solomon's knot, and then work in pairs until you're almost at the end of the row. So I'm just almost at the end of the row and going to make one more Solomon's knot and then finish with a treble. Row 5 is exactly the same as row 3. Start with a chain 1 and a single crochet, and then work in pairs of Solomon's knots all the way to the end of the row. And I'm just at the end of the row, finishing with a single crochet in the top of that chain 4. So row 6 is going to be the second last row of our swatch, and for row 6 we just repeat row 2 again, starting with the chain 4, working one Solomon's knot, working in pairs all the way across, and then ending with one Solomon's knot and a treble crochet. Now if you wanted to make this piece longer, you just keep repeating row 2 and row 3 as long as you like, and just make sure to end on row 2, so that's the row that starts with the chain 4. So for my swatch, row 7 is going to be the last row, and this row is going to give us a straight edge across the top. Start row 7 with a chain 1, turn and single crochet into that first stitch. Now instead of doing a pair of Solomon's knots here, we're going to chain 3 and then work a single crochet into that stitch at the center of the Solomon's knot pair. And again, chain 3. You can keep your chains a little bit loose. Skip the single crochet and then do a single crochet into that stitch at the center of the Solomon's knot pair. And continue in this pattern all the way to the end, and then you finish with a single crochet in the top of that chain 4. And your swatch is done. So this stitch pattern in particular benefits from blocking. So you can see if I stretch it out there, it lays nice and flat and even. And that's the same effect that you get from blocking, except that it will last longer. So now you know how to make the Solomon's knot or love knot crochet stitch. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe below. And you can also check out all of my free patterns at nedandmimi.com. Thank you.